Yes guys, and a big welcome back to my channel and a big welcome to today's video. First things first, I've been MIA from my channel for the best part of a month. Essentially, I went on holiday with the intention to film a load of content. However, it was super busy, and if I'm honest, I just decided to relax whilst I was away. And then since coming back, it's been super busy at work. Obviously, I've got my personal training business, my online coaching business that has been very busy. But we are back today with another video, and we're going to be talking about my trip to America, and more specifically, California. Within this video, I'm going to cover 5 different topics. Topic number 1, the route we took and how we booked the trip. Topic number 2, my favorite place we visited. Topic number 3, my least favorite place we visited. Topic number 4, somewhere you can't skip if you plan on doing this trip. And topic number 5, my favorite moment of the entire trip. If you're planning on doing a road trip around California, or you're just interested in my trip in general, sit back, relax, and hopefully you get something from this video. So let's talk the routes that we took. So we flew into Vegas, which I'm fully aware is not in California, it is of course in Nevada. But we started our Californian road trip in Vegas, and we did 4 nights there before picking up a car from the airport and driving to Death Valley to start our road trip of California. Death Valley, literally the hottest place on earth, beautiful scenery, absolutely unbelievable. We spent 1 night there before we drove to Yosemite, again, another place with stunning scenery. After spending 2 nights in Yosemite, we then drove to San Francisco and we dropped the car off there because we didn't need a car there. We essentially went everywhere on foot or used the odd cab. Talking of cabs, in San Fran and LA, they're currently using the Waymo driverless cabs. I'll pop up a little overlay so you can see it. Absolutely crazy experience. You literally sit in the cab and it drives itself. It talks to you before the car actually sets off, giving you sort of the safety instructions, etc. If something goes wrong, you can call this number. But yeah, it's a mental experience, honestly very surreal and extremely futuristic as well. After San Fran, once we'd had 3 nights there, we picked up a car and we left San Francisco and we drove to Pismo Beach. We stayed at Pismo Beach for 1 night, which again was beautiful. We saw an amazing sunset there. And then after spending 1 night in Pismo Beach, we drove to LA and had 3 nights in LA. So a couple of things to note on our road trip is that between San Francisco and Pismo Beach, we stopped at Santa Cruz for some lunch. That was really cool place. You got the theme park there. It was quite quiet when we were there and the theme park wasn't actually open, but the vibe was still pretty cool and it's definitely worth a stop. And then between Pismo Beach and LA, we stopped at Santa Barbara, which is 100% worth a visit. If I'm honest, I wish we actually had a couple of nights in Santa Barbara because the place is awesome. Vibe was really cool and we had a really nice breakfast there at a place called Janine's or something along the lines of that. So yeah, definitely check out Santa Cruz and Santa Barbara. If I was going to stay at one of them, I would have probably stayed at Santa Barbara. Santa Cruz was cool, but Santa Barbara is just a really nice vibe. And I said to Emma that if we did the road trip again, I would definitely like to stay in Santa Barbara for a night or so. How did we actually go about booking the trip? Now, I actually went through a company called eShores to book the entire trip. I essentially emailed them, telling them where I wanted to go within California, and of course that we wanted to start the trip in Vegas. And then I said that I wanted nothing less than a 4-star hotel, and I gave them a sort of general price range. From there, they fired me over an itinerary, and then we went back and forth a couple of times, adjusted a few bits, and then we had the whole itinerary sorted, ready to go, and then it was just a case of spreading payments until the holiday. So let's move on to the favorite place that we visited. For sure, for me, it has to be Yosemite, and I think Emma would probably agree. That place is absolutely stunning, probably the most beautiful place I've ever visited in my life. Now, a heads up, if you are visiting Yosemite, you do need to actually book a pass to get into the park because they're trying to control the amount of people that visit the park during peak hours. I think that's between like 9 and 5. You have to get a ticket to access the park between those hours, and they do sell out, which we found out. We were actually just about to go to bed in Death Valley, and then we realized we hadn't got a ticket, and we realized that it actually sold out, which meant we actually had to book a guided tour around Yosemite to enable us to visit and actually experience the whole of the park on the days that we were there. But if I'm honest with you, if you do opt to do this trip and you go from Death Valley to Yosemite, it is a long trip. I think it took us around 9 hours, including stop-offs and whatnot. And once you've done a 9-hour drive and you slept, you don't want to be driving around the park. So I strongly suggest actually booking a guided tour when you're there, because then if you do the drive, you can kick back, relax while someone else takes you around the park and takes you around all the key points. and you don't have to stress out about finding where to go. Now let's move on to my least favorite place. If I'm honest, my least favorite place was probably LA. Now that's not to say I would never go back and I absolutely hated it, because I didn't. We had a great time in LA. We spent 3 nights there and it was awesome. However, apart from Beverly Hills, Rodeo Drive, and then West Hollywood, you kind of drive around and LA's a little bit of a shithole. It's very much an urban sprawl and you're kind of driving around thinking, bar those areas, is LA worth the hype? Probably not. Don't get me wrong, Venice Beach is cool, okay? Santa Monica Beach is cool. However, if I was to revisit LA, I would probably look to stay in around Manhattan Beach area. On our last day in LA, our flight was quite late and we didn't really know what to do. So we went and checked out Manhattan Beach, and honestly, that place was stunning. I feel like that was really LA vibes around there, and it just didn't feel like the rest of LA. If you've been to LA, that probably makes sense to you. But no, look, LA is cool. Seeing the Hollywood sign is wicked. Going to Universal Studios is wicked. Seeing Venice Beach, Santa Monica Beach. You know, I played GTA when I was younger, so you know, that experience was really cool, but it probably is a little bit overrated in my opinion. Let me know in the comments down below if you've been to LA and you agree, because I've spoken to a lot of people since coming home, and it seems to be that the general consensus is that LA is a little bit overrated. But again, I would go back, okay? I'd go and stay at Manhattan Beach, which I thought that was really cool, and then I can kind of dip in and dip out of sort of the main areas of the city. Now let's move on to somewhere you cannot skip if you plan on doing a road trip of California. The one place I wouldn't skip if I did this road trip again would be Yosemite. Again, I mentioned it's my favorite place on the trip, and honestly, I think it's one of the best places I've ever been to. And I've spoken to a few people since coming back, and they've said, oh, we didn't quite manage to go there. Honestly, do it, okay? If you are doing a Californian road trip, do not skip Yosemite, because you will regret it. The place is beautiful, the walks are amazing, the nature is awesome. And again, yeah, I genuinely would not skip that place. Now, in terms of my favorite moment of the trip, I would have to say the skydive that we did in Las Vegas. If you've done a skydive before, you know it's an absolutely incredible experience. Was I scared? Absolutely. I think, you know, when you're jumping from 13,000 feet, there is an element of, is this parachute actually gonna go up? And even when you're free falling, those thoughts did go through my mind. The experience as a whole is just incredible. If you're on the fence on whether to do a skydive or not, I genuinely couldn't recommend it enough. And when I did it, it was honestly the most laid back experience ever. My guy came over to me, introduced himself, told me that when we're up in the plane, when we're hanging off the edge, I need to put my head back, my hips forward and my legs back. And that was about it. From that point onwards, I sat there in the waiting room waiting to jump. That's essentially all the info I really got. They take care of the rest. You're in very safe hands. A few other highlights worth noting of the trip were shooting guns in Vegas. That was awesome. Seeing a baseball game in San Francisco, going in the driverless cab, that was a great experience. Just being in Death Valley and being in that 48-degree heat was pretty crazy as well. You know, LA, seeing the Hollywood sign, something that you grow up seeing as a kid and you've never seen it in person, that's quite a surreal experience. And you know what, the list goes on, and I could bore you guys for hours on end with regards to the highlights of the trip. But I just wanted to condense it into a little video to give you guys an insight into the trip and hopefully give you some information surrounding it. So if you are thinking of doing a road trip around California, you've got this video to go by. But yeah, that's about it for this video, guys. I will be getting back into the habit of posting consistently on here at least once a week, if not twice a week, covering all things fitness, lifestyle, and travel. So make sure you like and subscribe for more content. And I'm gonna leave this video with the full video that I got sent of me skydiving. So enjoy the rest of the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Welcome to Built Up Las Vegas. How are we today?
All good.
Awesome. What's your name?
Emma.
Yours?
Jono.
What are we about to do?
Skydive.
Are you guys excited?
Yeah.
Let's go do this. Yeah.
best thing I've ever done. That.
Yeah? What was your favorite part?
It's the free falling bit, and actually when we were tumbling out the face
Yeah.
as well.
It looks awesome. Well, thank you for jumping with Go Jump Las Vegas. We'll see you next time.